Well, hey, everybody. It's Bruce Pulver and Heather Carter for another episode of Can I Have a Word with You? And so, what is this about, right? For those of you who've been catching us, or maybe this is the first time, it's two friends. It's two friends who actually have not met in person yet.
I
But
know we gotta figure that out, Bruce.
I know we got to do it. So anybody wants to book two speakers together, we each do it. You get two for the price of two, right? To come out and share with you. But we've both dealt with some things in life, setbacks, right? You've had some health things, you've had some relationship things. I've had, a job loss. Bridget and I lost a baby. Just not a job loss, several. And it's all about kind of figuring out ways to build back, not quit, but often the build back comes through the time that it's messy. It's like continuing to, believe in yourself, continuing to call on your faith and grow your faith, continuing to say, not today. I'm not giving up today, as opposed to trying to be at the other side of it and doing this retrospective of how we've got all the answers. Because I'll tell you, I may know all the answers, but I certainly don't know what questions they go to.
Mm-hmm.
So that's kind of what we're about. We talk about our journey, our faith journey, our struggles. Not perfect, of course, but what can we do in the midst of the messiness to maybe get a tighter hand on the rope to pull ourselves up a little bit, or what sort of skills can we develop, or how can we, especially with us, lean on our faith and grow on our faith and think about, putting God first, because that's where the real answers are, at least in my walk. It's if I try to figure it out, I'm going to fall off the edge. If I lay it at the cross, which we have been instructed to do as Christians, then we know we're not alone. So that's kind of what I think this is about, Heather. And, we're kind of at the end of a week. We're recording this. I know it's coming out on a Tuesday. We recorded a little bit early. And you when we first started this conversation before we went live, you said you've had a week and you are a little bit what?
I am disturbed.
Talk to me.
Very disturbed. And I was saying, I think that part of why I'm disturbed is exactly because God needed to give me some material to work with today, because we talked a couple days ago about maybe unpacking disturbed. And in my world, some of the things I've learned about that word and a truth that I truly hate is that if I am disturbed, the problem is with me. And I don't like that very much, but I know it to be true. And I also know the solution to that is acceptance of whatever I'm going through. So today I've been especially disturbed, and really there's nothing new happening. That's when you really know it's you, because everything is going exactly how it was probably yesterday. But when my reaction to those things has been different today than it was yesterday. Today, instead of saying, oh, I'll just sell a house in God's time. Today, I'm like, I'm never going to sell a house. This is stupid. I think I'm going to have to go work at McDonald's. So my attitude is just a little cynical and grouchy today. And so I was kind of laughing when I got ready to pop on here and remembered what we were talking about. I thought, God likes to just give me really messy opportunities to share. I talk about sharing in the messy, and I'm telling you, I needed this podcast to talk to myself. I needed to talk to you about what I know to be true about it, so I could unpack disturbed and get to the bottom of it before we in the next 15 minutes. Bruce, you got 15 minutes to.
So you get to chat about it, and we all get to hear it, and that's where we're going to learn something. I can tell you for sure. So what I hear you saying is that the situation really hasn't been different over the last few days, but maybe you got kind of to the end of a rope. You kind of reached a level of frustration that triggered how you interpret, how you feel about the situation, or the way you see it, whether it's where you are now or how am I going to work through this challenge, right? So being disturbed isn't something we can necessarily avoid, but some things may trigger why that happens. Maybe it's a combination of things. Maybe it's maybe it's just the last straw, right?
Yeah.
And that happens, right? We get disturbed, we get angry, we get frustrated. So what do we do? I mean, in that situation, what do we do in the messiness to try to kind of clear it out a little bit?
Well, one of the first things I try my best to remember to ask myself or to do is to halt. And that is ask myself if I'm hungry, angry, lonely, or tired. So today, when I came home and I was kind of going off about some things to my husband, he was trying to give me advice. I'm like, you know what? Just don't talk to me. I'm really hungry right now, for one thing. So I'm hungry. I'm kind of angry at some situations that happened, and I'm not really lonely, but I am pretty tired too. I went to a concert out of town last night, so I didn't get home till midnight, and then I woke up at 5 o'clock and worked out, and so then I think I'm a little bit tired. So all those things, once I can take care, I made sure I ate, everyone, before I came on this podcast, so I wouldn't be hangry at y'all or at poor Bruce. So when you can take care of some of those things, sometimes you think you're mad at the world, but really you just need to take care. God has designed us to need food and to need sleep and things like that. So if we are out of whack there, we don't see things with the right perspective. So I took care of that one thing first, so I could bring
this is
a better
really
mind to this table.
Let's stop there for a second. HALT. So think about if you're feeling frustrated or disturbed or angry at somebody, whatever. It could be physiological. It could be nutrition. It could be you need energy in your body. You need fuel, physically to eat something. It could be mental. You could be angry about something, right? I'm angry. There's something that has triggered that emotion in me. I could feel like I am by myself, helpless, maybe. Alone and lonely are two different things, but maybe I feel like, why am I the only one experiencing this thing? I'm alone. It isn't fair. All of those kind of things. And
then I guess I had that one too. If that's how we're going to define it, then yes, I was also feeling alone.
Okay. All right. And that's the A, right?
Hungry, angry, lonely, tired.
Oh, lonely, alone, lonely. Okay, I'm sorry. And then T would be, it could really be, sleep. It could be just not enough rest. So the situation may not change, but the trigger could be, I'm disturbed because of one of those four things. So let's kind of think about that with our listeners, is that maybe take a pause, or what I use the word is calm, catch a little moment, CALM, and analyze, is that something? Because that could at least start us moving towards not acceptance, but maybe being able to think through a solution, being able to say, oh, I'm going to do something different. Maybe I'm going to do more of something. Maybe, I can think of a different solution to the challenge I'm under.
Yeah.
That's a really good.
When I was when I was looking up the definition of disturbed, it's interesting because it's to interfere or something, to interrupt, to alter the position or arrangement of, or to upset the natural, or I like this one, to destroy the tranquility or composure of. That was me today. And that the disruption and the interruption and the destroying of my tranquility is basically what happens when I'm disturbed. It destroys my serenity. And I work hard, I pray hard, I study, I do as much as I can to keep my mind and heart and soul in a serene place. That's really important to me because I spent a lot of years worked up about things all the time and scared and all the things that come with that disruption. So when my serenity is destroyed, it's because I'm disturbed about something, usually something that's just not going my way, to be honest. So like what you said, another solution for me anyway is acceptance.
Yeah.
They say acceptance is the answer to all our problems. That doesn't mean you like it. That doesn't mean you have to keep it that way, but to accept it as reality and deal with life on life's terms.
Yes. I think there's a real distinction there. Help me if I'm getting this right. There's a difference between accepting all the things you feel and all of the aspects and internalizing that, and maybe stepping outside of it and saying, okay. And in your situation, maybe it was a specific showing of a property, or it was, something about a contract or something about an inspection of a real estate transaction you're talking about, that you're accepting that that's the way that is right now.
Right.
Not, I'm accepting that there's no solution. I'm accepting that there's no workaround. I'm accepting that I'm less than. You're not saying that at all.
Right.
Yeah. Okay.
It's almost like, I don't think acknowledgement is the exact word, but it's kind of like that. It's more like acknowledging reality, accepting life on life's terms.
Yeah.
But then what are we going to do about it? And then you go back to the serenity prayer of, grant me the wisdom to accept the things I cannot change, courage to change the things I can, and the wisdom to know the difference.
Yes.
You have to figure out if there is something to figure out and do, or if it is just like, hey, life's hard, deal with it.
And, for me, and this is something that I really do lean on, and we're studying with my men's group right now. We're in the January month, which we always do Proverbs. We do a chapter of Proverbs a day, and we grip it. We've talked a little bit about what that means. It's an acronym, but to me, I always go back to Proverbs 3, 5, and 6. I mean, there are things, right? Trust, and I'll read it. Trust with all your heart. You must trust the Lord, not your own judgment. Always let him lead you, and he will clear the road. That's the contemporary English version, which I spend some time in. And to me, it's that I've gotten out of kilter. I may have to halt, but I've also gotten out of kilter when I let earthly things disturb me. Now, I'm human. They do. We all are. But if I can step back and kind of let it go in that perspective, that the bigger things, trusting that there's more to me than my understanding at this moment, helps me build maybe a bigger picture, and that I'm on a different path than that roadblock that I'm facing at the moment. So we got a couple of minutes left. Well, let me what we do, we break down the word. So I did, just before we got on here, I wrote the word disturbed because I've not written it before.
Yeah.
Kind of came up with
I was going to say, when we went through those at the beginning, I think it's going to be a really good way to kind of close it out and hopefully make people look a little deeper. I was just going to throw out this one verse that we all have probably heard about disturbed, but is Psalm 42:5, that says, we remember the first part, why so downcast, O my soul? Why so disturbed within me? That's a common problem that everybody struggles with. But I think one of the other solutions, like you said, is to step back and ask yourself, what does it matter in the scheme of things? Like in the scheme of God's world, does this matter? No. Does it matter if I sell a house this month? Does it matter in the scheme of life? No. What matters is this afternoon, I'm going to pick up coats from a friend of mine who's dying of cancer. And in this, when I compare me being disturbed over this, and maybe I'm disturbed because I know I have to do that. That's the other thing, is like, maybe these things, you think these are the problems, but over here, that's a sad thing, especially when I have had cancer. I have some survivor's guilt, and I have, that could be me. And it's also my friend who I'm going to lose soon. And, all those things are kind of legitimately disturbing. And those are the things, though, that I can invite God into. Because other stuff really doesn't matter in the scheme of his purposes.
The other thing I would add to that is when you put those two things side by side and you go, yes, my friend is really what matters. Please refrain from saying anything derogatory about yourself for worrying about that thing that you no longer think should disturb you. In that moment, it did. So that's another thing we need to be real careful of, is that, why am I so ungrateful? I have these things and these blessings, and my friend, wow, who do I think I am? That avoid as best we can. Know that that's a trap as well, that we then beat ourselves up and kind of continue to dig that hole. So no, I thank you for that, is kind of giving yourself some perspective, some pause, right? some grace around that, and you're going to feel better. A lot of good things happen in that trip from you to meeting your friend and doing the things that you committed to do with her. So I would just offer that up. So disturbed, as we wrap this up, right? The D, you're doubting everything. The I, it's you, not me, right? We're not taking necessarily ownership that we have a way to deal with it, and not and blame is typically not a good one, right? The S is say it isn't so. Can I catch a break? Right? That's kind of how we feel when we're disturbed. It's like, really, do I? How come? Right? Why me? The T is it's testing our faith often, right? It's kind of putting us out there and saying, are you going to take this the right way? Are we going to take the bait? Are we going to? And human nature often says, yes, we will take the bait. We will let that disturb us, right? The U is understand. This could be from the bad guy. This could be, the dark side kind of pulling us away from our faith, but it's also a test there, right? The R is reset with a pause. We kind of talked about that. Take a moment, right? Take a moment and pause and eat.
Eat or
right.
something.
Yes.
Stop
or don't be
drinking
angry, or are you lonely, or yes, or you need some rest, right? Then the B is be grateful for one thing. And I think the fact that you have the opportunity to go be with your friend is that opportunity to be grateful for that opportunity. The other thing may diminish itself a little bit about which you were disturbed. Then the E is escape and exhale. Maybe that's a part of the pause and the calm as well. And then the D in disturb, the last D is directionally get back with God, right? He is the path. He is he wants us to surrender ourselves to him, to be the person he's intended us to be. And maybe when we get a little disturbed, that's sort of the bumpers on the road that kind of help us maybe move a little bit back. And this isn't easy stuff, right? This is nothing that you and I have mastered. That's why we love chatting about it in the messiness. So
yeah, I was going to say, when you talk about directionally get back with God, sometimes you're just like today for me, I was just so worked up and amped up that I couldn't even really read without inserting my own dialogue in between the lines and stuff. So what I did, my husband and I have been with some friends have been watching The Chosen, and I am I'm in love with Jesus, just to watch someone personify him in a way that it just helps me so much. And so what I did today before I got on here, I ate, and while I was eating, I put on an episode of The Chosen, and I just fast forwarded it to all the parts where Jesus is in it. I'm like, I just need to be in the presence of someone who's not freaking out and taking things as they go. So however you need to get in God's presence, find a way. That was my way today, and it did help me calm down and see things with a different perspective.
And if anyone is sort of seeking that, or wants sort of, hey, how can I connect, or what do you do to have your daily moments, your time? I know both of us are available and would be willing to answer a comment or a message or a contact through our websites, or any way. And I got them down here. For any event planners that are listening, anyone's looking for someone to talk with their organization about the power of their words, about their mindset, we're out here and available to come and assist. So,
and obviously, we're our whole thing is we're sharing in our messy. We're not claiming we have all the answers. I think we do know some answers. That doesn't mean we always do them. There's a difference sometimes, but we're doing the best we can, and we're striving to get God in there in everything we do. And so we're, just even doing this, we're able to unpack it together and get to some solution and find hope, and we can help other people do the same, because, we're all in this together. We're just figuring it out.
That's why we're here. And I call it the journey. And the thing I love about the journey, we talk about this a lot, of the first two letters and the last letter spell joy. And we need to find joy in that process when there are times we're disturbed, when there are times we're resentful, when there's times that we don't get it, when there are times that we're stubborn. all the words we've kind of unpacked, that's why we're here. And then the rest of the letters in Journey are you are, and the N is naturally, and the E's enough. So find joy in the journey because you are naturally enough. And Heather, it's always great to be with you. I love these conversations.
Yep. Thanks for helping me get some serenity back.
There you go. Until next time.
Bye, everyone.
Take care. Bye-bye.